one of the most amazing things a keyboard player can ever learn, and this can catapult your playing into the next level, is the concept of something called open voicings. Learning to take simple chords, the kind you hear people playing all the time, and then learning to take the notes of those chords and rearrange and spread them out on the keyboard in unique, brand new ways. Suddenly you've got a fresh new sound from the same old chords. This is an amazing concept that can really revolutionize your playing. Using this technique, you can take simple chords on the piano, like this E minor chord, E, G, and B. And you know that's how a lot of folks will play it all the time, just closed position. But if you learn to sprinkle the notes of the E minor chord around the keyboard, you can get a sound like this. See how much more rich that is? It's got a lot more depth to it. And there's nothing wrong with this, but when you want to open up your sound, chord voicings are fantastic tools. Let's check out how to put this together. Now, depending on your musical experience, you might have heard of minor chords or major chords. Those are foundations of music, some of the most basic chords that we use all the time. We studied how to put all these simple chords together at the beginning of a course titled Pattern, Piano, and Keyboard. You can find it at PlayPianoTODAY.com. If you haven't had a chance yet to go through that course, make sure you take the time to do it, and you'll be ready to play. One of the great things about this chord voicing that I'm showing you in this lesson is that you can use it almost any time that you see a minor chord, like on a chord chart or maybe music that you're writing. Anytime you see a minor chord, use this voicing instead. Instantly, the sound becomes rich, and the chord has a lot of depth to it. Now let's take a look at how to put this together. The chord voicing that we're looking at is this. Nice and open. It's called an open voicing because the notes are spread out. They're not bunched together. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with this. There's a place for nice, close voicings. But we're looking at opening up your sound. This voicing is based on the E minor chord. So let's take a look at that E minor chord. E, G, and B. This would be E major, but we're looking at an E minor chord. Now, in pattern, piano, and keyboard, we also studied where the seventh comes from, right? That would be here. And in this lesson, we're looking at a voicing that includes this note. What is that note? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have an E minor chord, the seventh, and the ninth way up on top. But look at that, they're still in close position, meaning they're all bunched together as tight as you can get them. And sounds great, but now we're going to take those same notes and we're going to spread them out into a voicing like this. Isn't that amazing? Suddenly you've got a completely different character. But check it out, we're playing the same exact notes. E, G, B, D, and F sharp. Same notes. They're just spread out in an open voicing. In just a second, we're going to go further with this lesson, but I also wanted to quickly throw out the information that on our website, in addition to pattern, piano, and keyboard, you'll also find a huge video piano lessons library that deals with something called style development. Once you've gone all the way through pattern, piano, and keyboard, and you've learned to play any song by ear, then you can dig into the library and learn to have a blast as you learn to play through things like the blues, worship and gospel music, kickin', up-tempo Latin music. That's so much fun to play. Things like ear training and music theory. All these resources that are designed to really enable you and help you develop your skills on the keyboard so you can totally be free when you play. All right, let's dig back into the lesson on voicings. This really is one of those techniques that separates folks who begin to play the piano and they say, yeah, I play chord piano, and they just kind of bang out the chords, from those that really create fantastic, beautifully voiced music. But to be honest, learning to voice chords is really just one of the first steps in becoming a great player. The next step in your playing is learning to take all these voicings that I'm going to teach you and then learn to break them up rhythmically into something called rhythmic patterns. Now, throughout this lesson, I know you've seen me take these voicings and begin to play them rhythmically. But just for clarity, let me do it one more time. I'm going to take some open voicings and play a real simple rhythmic pattern on top of them. all of a sudden your hands are playing all over the keyboard. It's absolutely so much fun. Now we're going to take a detailed look at the end. This has just been the first few minutes of the course titled Phat Chord Voicings, Chapter 1. To check out the entire lesson, come on over to PlayPianoTODAY.com. My name is David Sprunger. Thanks for listening. You know what to do. Go practice.